Six Nations Rugby. After 2 o'clock, we'll talk EPL, we'll talk NBA as well very shortly. Your favourite game, Lachlan, what has more chance of happening? But let's go to South Africa now for a perspective from them on this cricket test. Craig Marais joins us. He's a past first-class cricketer. Craig, well, what do you make of it, mate? I mean, here in New Zealand, we're loving every second of this because we think that for the first time ever, we might actually beat you in a series. Do we need to put an asterisk beside this or not?
Enjoy it, Martin. I think, I mean, it's really, they say it's a South African C team. It could be a D team, but you got to give credit to New Zealand as well. I think, they've been pretty clinical. You've got to do all the hard yards, and Kane Williamson, and you guys are you're doing what you have to do, and I'm sure it's going to be good practice for coming series. But I hope the public's not feeling too shortchanged.
No, I don't think so. I think that we've been delighting in the fact that Russian Ravindra, who we all saw during the One Day World Cup, just explode onto the world scene. Look, we wanted him in the test team against Bangladesh. That didn't happen. Now he's got a double 100. So let's start with him. I mean, you've got to celebrate a young man with so much talent, so much of a bright future in front of him, and then performing at the highest level on the world stage.
Completely. I saw him, the first I saw him was at the Under-19 World Cup. And then obviously at this, the last World Cup, he was a future, you could see this guy's a future star. And what a find for New Zealand. What a wonderful player. He can bowl his little bit of his left arm spin as well. But what a find for New Zealand. And hopefully he'll delight cricket lovers all over the world for years to come. A special, special talent. And Kane Williamson, we know all about him. But what a player. 31 test hundreds. Probably New Zealand's greatest batsman, Martin Crowe would be up there, but I suppose statistically, Kane Williamson is right up there. He's breaking all the records, and special player. We love watching Kane Williamson, just the way he plays. It doesn't matter if this was an Indian team or Australian team or South African C team. He's just got such a brilliant technique. He plays so late, and averaging 55 of nearly 100 test matches. He's going to go down as one of the greats.
Yeah, what a list to join those that have got over 30 test centuries. He's going to go on from here, obviously, as well. He's so diligent about what he does. He's just the absolutely most perfect person to be in that position in the New Zealand cricket team. Better than Martin Crowe with the bat. I think we've all accepted that. The debate's now starting, Craig, to turn towards when can we start adding him to the conversation about the greatest cricketer New Zealand's ever produced, Sir Richard Hadlee? Now, I suppose, one's a bowler, one's a batter. You're trying to kind of get, valid measuring sticks. Paddle's got 36 5-wicket hauls. So let's carve that out as the bowler's equivalent of a century. Kane's got 31 centuries. He's very close now. When those two figures even up, and we expect them to, that's when that conversation might start.
Yeah, I mean, what a great cricketer Sir Richard Hadlee was. And the thing with Kane Williamson, that at such different times and obviously different decades, Kane Williamson, I mean, in all formats, I mean, we're talking Test cricket, 50 over, T20. He's a brilliant performer in all different formats, and been a great captain as well. Well, what a great debate to have for you guys there, Martin.
So what's the reaction in South Africa to this? Is there any interest in this series at all amongst cricket fans, or are all your eyes still on the T20 comp?
I think there's still a lot of eyes on this T20, and the ironical thing, Martin, is that, this T20, SA T20 as they call it, there have been so many young players that have come through. Very much like, I suppose, with the IPL in India getting all this depth. So as embarrassing as it is with the Proteas against New Zealand at the moment, it's brought a lot of young talent coming through in this SA20 that will probably stake their claim going forward. So this South African C team might be a D team soon. A lot of feeling in South Africa is that, it's a bit embarrassing that we can't send our best test team, but a lot of it's double standards. The England, Australia, India sort of kept everything amongst themselves. I mean, India don't have a problem with their IPL with any scheduling issues. So in many ways, South Africa has been forced to do what they have done. But at the same time, we're still hoping that, one or two of these South Africans will still put their hand up and maybe bat for a whole day or put up some bit of fight. That there's always opportunities for someone to put their hands up. But it's been pretty dismal, their performances so far. I think they'll keep on trying. They've just been outplayed by a very good New Zealand team.
In our own conditions as well, which is, you've got to add that to it because we are very hard to beat here in New Zealand. And I suppose, the real test for us comes with the 2 against Australia. But I've got to say, your captain, Neil Brand, I mean, he's a toiler, isn't he, mate? 26 overs in that first innings, 6 for 119, when we hit 500 and something. So you've got a real firebrand there.
Very much so. Ironically as well, Martin, he wouldn't really... would never really been considered for the Proteas. He was very much left field because if you look at the South African cricket team, our spinner, we have Keshav Marais. We also got a guy, Simon Harmer, Marais Shamsi. So Brand is sort of he wouldn't be good enough as a spinner to really make the Proteas side and not really good enough as a batsman, but he certainly put his hand up. Some of the guys like Reynard van Tonder and Ruan de Swart, most of us in South Africa have hardly seen these guys play because we don't really get 4-day cricket televised. So the guys that we were hoping would put their hands up is Bedingham. Beddingham's got a future possibly as a batsman in the Test team. So does Keegan Peterson and Hamza sort of there around. So Brand has been the one find. But I think in many ways, Martin, a lot of these guys, a lot of them, it might be their one and only Test match. There's a little bit of talent in the batting. The bowlers really are journeymen. If we look at Dane Patterson, I don't think he'd really play for South Africa again. Tsepo Mareki has been around quite a while. And, I don't know, a lot of these players I don't think will ever play for South Africa again. I hope I'm wrong for them, and I hope that they go and try and bat for 2 days. Now, any chance of rain there, Martin?
Don't even start. Don't even try. You're not wriggling off that easy, mate. And then when we pound you in this one, we're going to pound you in the next one. Just remember, you've got the Rugby World Cup, okay? So you've still got that. We're so excited to with the All Blacks coming to visit South Africa. I think there's a Test match up in Gauteng, and then one in Cape Town as well. In many ways, Martin, this SA20, we need the money to have all these development programs that we have. I mean, we 90% have Black Africans in our country, so we need this money to have all these development programs in the townships. Our rugby was a mess as well. We need a Rassie Erasmus in our cricket as well. Our rugby was in such a state, but I don't know if you love him or hate him in New Zealand. He's just been such a messiah to South African rugby. The way that he's performed miracles, and we need someone like him in our cricket at the moment because we don't have that many black players coming through. We thought we didn't have that many black rugby players coming through before Rassie took over as well. So, but let's not change the topic or the sport. So we're getting completely smashed by a very good New Zealand team at the moment.